I just came on here because there are real people here on this digital space, and I can really have a genuine conversation, to people that don't know me. You understand? Not too familiar with me. You understand? I think with this digital space, I believe it's more of a safe place than any other space because when you're on Facebook, people know you and people assume that they know you and and then they'll start to pretty much create what you call false narratives, and have conversations, and it will cause what you call misrepresentation of who you are, but knowing that that's not you and that's not your core and what have you. So this is a more safe place because a lot of people here, you know they're just tired of the the smoke and mirrors. You feel me? And so forth and so on. Yeah. This is Filmore Spellman Production presents YouTube live in living color. God bless you. Notice in my videos, I don't have what you call titles. You understand? That is like eye catchers. That's not my digital space. You understand? I don't have like titles. You just hop on in, and I'm just talking organically. You understand? And also, for those of you about to join me, feel free to click like, subscribe to my channel, and click the notification bell. Every time I come on live, you'll get a quick notification. If you're available, you could just hop on in. Ho Him Ching says hello. This is why I love YouTube. Hey, good morning. You know, this is why I love YouTube. You understand? And here are some housekeeping rules. When you join my page. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Ryan. Thank you so much. God bless you this morning. Thank you so much. Housekeeping rules when communicating on my page in the comment section below, make sure it's clean and nothing negative. No sexual, political propaganda. That's not the platform for it. But there are platforms out there you can autonomously, freely communicate that. But this is not that type of space. I talk. This is like a motivational page. I also share my life story. You know, um, dealing with loss. I think that's one of my themes. Most of my themes of my YouTube channel, to talk about loss and how to live day at each and every day. When you lose someone significant. You understand? Uh, Elizabeth Bryan said, "What is your favorite food?" Ooh, I have a lot of favorite food. I love chicken. I love scallops. Because I'm allergic to shrimps. I substitute it with salads. Good morning, sir. You know, I says hi. You know, I'm allergic to what you call shellfish, crustaceans, like crabs, lobsters, shrimps. I get an anaphylactic shock, so I stay away from those type of foods. But I do eat seafood, but not the shellfish. But scallops, oh, I love scallops. You understand? Mr. Smokey said, "Are you the guy who climbed the building?" See, this is when I start deleting because it's I'm not gonna follow that what you call it, that rabbit hole of negativity. So once I see something negative, I delete it. You know, like I said, housekeeping rules of effect. Make sure when you come on my page, make sure you communicate something positive oriented. You understand? Because we're grown folks at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You know. I said, "Where are you from?" I'm from the United States. You know. You know. I'm from the United States. I'm from New York. You understand? That's all you need to know. Where are you from? Tell me, those who are watching me by the sound of my voice, where are y'all from? You understand? And it's okay to say good morning, Grand Rising. Um, Dina said good morning, God bless. Dessert Eagle says, Delete this. You didn't say anything negative. That was funny. That's a touche moment. I said I'm from Australia. Good day, mate. All right, got got a person from the down under. Know what Australia looks like to me? It looks like an upside down United States of America. That's what um, Australia looks like. It looks like a backwards, upside down United States of America, but with the exception of other countries not connected to it, like a Canada, like Central America and South America. That those are the only things that are missing from Australia. But Australia is like the size of the United States, right? And what have you, yeah. And the time is over there. Right now it's over there. It's 10 o'clock. It might be 10:03 p.m. over there because right now my time is 6:03. Now because it's daylight savings time. Because when I do my messages, the last time it was dark, in the morning was last Friday. Before daylight savings time was at 2 o'clock a.m. on a Sunday morning. When I was doing this Facebook Live, I was doing it pitch black. Now the light is out. It's 6:04. We have extra light now. Dina said, "Have a great day. I'm from Pittsburgh. Good morning for Pittsburgh. You know, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Got somebody from Pittsburgh. He said, "What time is it there?" Right now, Eastern Standard Time. I'm in the Atlantic Time Zone. It's 6:04 a.m. Like I told you before. Uh, Last Friday when I was doing my Facebook Live, uh, the daylight saving time rule wasn't in effect until Sunday, last Sunday at 2 o'clock a.m. When I did my Facebook Live, not Facebook Live, my YouTube Live last week Sunday, it was pitch dark. If I were to talk to you right now, if it had not been for daylight saving time, it would have been pitch black, and people were making jokes and said, somebody's gonna jump out and attack you. People just funny. Yeah, so that's the time. And yeah, who else? I got Dog Lover says hi. He said you follow the NBA. I haven't been following sports. To be honest with you, I um, it's like I fell off watching basketball. I don't watch too much television. Although I'm a sports enthusiast, it's just that I don't watch too much television. Because it doesn't enthuse me now. I guess because I'm 53 and I, I don't have that enthusiasm. But I can tell you this much: when I was watching the NBA, pretty much I watched the NBA during the time of Michael Jordan, the era of Michael Jordan. I'm telling my age. I'm 53. You understand? Because to me, Michael Jordan was iconic. We have iconic players in the past like uh, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Parrish, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, from the Knicks, representing the Knicks, you know, and the list goes on and on. Dominique Wilkins, you know, uh, Spud Webb when this the small player, was playing, you had Spud Webb, these players of old, Alvin Iverson, Kobe Bryant, you know, those who are no longer here, like Bryant, because of the plane accident, the helicopter, I think, they no longer here, But to me, that was a good era of basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Tim Duncan. You understand? These faces, of the NBA. You know, you know, it was a great era of sports. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Because the sport rules has changed. I think you can't have too much physical contact anymore. That's why a lot of players are shooting. You know, I just miss you know the penetration. To the hoop. And all that stuff. So it's not the same to me anymore because of the rules and things of that nature. Like I said, I don't watch too many television because I don't want to be so self-engulfed with media and social engineering. You understand? Because truth be told, media can control how you think. It's because of propaganda's on social engineering. So I choose not to watch too much television and what have you. So yeah, I said I met all the players at their hotel in Melbourne. All right, all right. That's what's up. That's what's up. He said I met Zion. I forgot who Zion was. Like I said, I'm so aloof from basketball. Sports. I think recently there was a World Series, and I didn't watch it. You understand? Because I don't know who was playing. I'm just so self engulfed with life and everything, and I don't sit down and watch television and what have you. Johnny Alvarez says Zion first 2000 born drafted. Yeah, Johnny Alvarez says crazy times. Yeah, it's a crazy time, especially in today. And in this era of life. Because I'm 53. I look at life from a Gen X perspective. You know, um, I just look at the iconic sports players. Uh, who no longer playing. You understand? Clyde Drexler. You know, to me, he was like like the second Jordan. If you put Jordan and Clyde Drexler together, there was a point where Clyde Drexler would check Jordan. You know what I'm saying? But because of Jordan's he superseded leaps and bounds. People call him the GOAT, but here's this whole debate. Whether LeBron James is the GOAT and Michael. Did he surpass Michael Jordan? In terms of stats. Well, let's put it this way. I don't know. I don't want to get in that debate, but uh, LeBron James surpassed I think whose record? They always did the sky hook. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. You understand? He surpassed you know the most scores. You understand? So whether that will be in the annals of time, in the history books of LeBron James, um, whether he's the GOAT or not. Some say, he shouldn't be the GOAT because look at how, he be fake fouling and things of that nature. you know, you know, it's like he's a baby crying spill milk. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I look at sports differently, you know, because I'm 53. I guess because I'm a mid-aged person. I just have different interests in my life now, and so forth and so on. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I says I really want to get over to watch a Golden State game. Oh, with uh Stephon Curry, right? My son, he's a fan of Stephon Curry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Johnny says you can become become anything you want to be. Just gotta put your mind to it. Yep. I remember that old fashioned saying. You can do anything that you want to if you put your mind to it. You know, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. I I concur. Johnny after said, made it, Brody. I believe in you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got John here, Ruben. Uh, is this the same person I had spoken to yesterday? Let me say, oh man, this is all Greek to me. I watch soccer, cricket, and rugby. I don't know about any of this except for what? Let me stop. Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yep. No, that was my era of growing up watching them play. I never forget when I was in middle school, I had watched the last game with the Knicks, and when Dr. J was playing on Julius Irving. I never forget. It was it was on Madison Square Garden, in the mid '80s. You know, my middle school teacher had had bought some tickets, and matter of fact, the class went to see the game, and I was happy, to watch that iconic moment. It wasn't the last game Julius Irving had played, when he was playing with the 76ers. However, it was like that was his last year playing. So I got the chance to see that iconic moment, you know, in Madison Square Garden. You understand? So Dr. J, oh my God, he is the GOAT. He's still around. He is the GOAT to me. Before there was a Michael Jordan, it was Julius Irving with his dunks. So you cannot deny, the playing ability of Dr. J. You understand? And that's why they call him Dr. J. He was like the doctor on the court and what have you. Uh, Jahem Rubin said yes. Cobb said cream about dual guy bar. Now I'm gonna delete that because I don't know what you're talking about. Like I said, housekeeping rules. Make sure y'all speak on my page is positive and everything. Johnny said, D bro, witnessed the best time of basketball in history. Yes, I had witnessed that, man. I kid you not, no cap. How do young folks say no cap? This is God's honest truth. I've seen that. I experienced that. You understand? And those are the moments and times I can go back in the corridors in my mind to think of that moment. You understand? Uh, John Rubin said Cobb, LOL. Yeah, because you mentioned something about gay bar, and like, come on. Like I said, housekeeping rules, man. Keep it clean because we're grown folks. We can have a sensible conversation without, you know, without resorting to negativity, man. It's too early in the morning, and plus, even if it's too early in the morning, still don't post stuff like that. For real, I don't know where people get off. All right, now it's Tuesday. When it comes to Tuesday, this is this is like the third day. You have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. This is the third day of the week. Let's start Tuesday on a fresh new start. You understand? And let's utilize this day of you know continue to grow, continue to be continue to shine, to continue to strive for excellence, continue to seize the moment in life. You understand? And embrace life. You understand? This is the moment of, if you've made a mistake in the past, you can redeem yourself and make admissions and say, hey, I made a mistake. You know, you know, when you fall down, you know, if you don't succeed, try again. If you have fell down, just get back up again. You understand? Get back on your bootstraps and let's keep it moving, keep it stepping. You understand? Don't worry about the naysayers, because everybody got opinions. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got one. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. You understand? So let's continue to grow. You know, and let's continue to shine. Let's continue to Continue to build momentum, throughout the day. That's my motivational message this morning on a Tuesday, right? John said, I've installed floors in the house Michael Jordan dad's live in when he passed away. Yeah, I remember, that situation when Michael Jordan's father, I believe he was killed, you know what I'm saying? And that hurt Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? That was his dad, you understand? And everything. Remember Michael Jordan went through a period where he retired from basketball and he went to baseball, because he had played dual sports back in the day, baseball, but playing baseball was short lived. You realize that it wasn't impact. He wasn't the Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, he would play football and baseball at the same time. He thought that he can follow that type of pattern, playing basketball and baseball at the same time. So baseball, you know, he went it that was short lived, and then he went back to basketball and everything. Yeah, and I'll never forget when Jordan came back, he was a little rusty because he wasn't playing basketball. He didn't play with that sense of enthusiasm. You understand? You notice when he came back, his playing style changed. Because now that he was playing more, um, he developed a new rhythm about his playing, right? You know, you know, prior to him leaving the NBA, remember when he came back, I think he had retired his jersey, but I think he had to pay a fine for unretired his jersey, if my memory serves me correctly. And yeah, he he came back, but but when Jordan started playing and everything, you know, he was playing differently. You understand? And I never forget that moment when he was playing against what's that, Reggie Miller? You understand? That was that iconic moments in sports. You understand? And I never forget Jordan was playing with a flu, if my memory serves me correctly. When he was playing with the flu, and still, although Jordan had the flu and all, he was still playing like you know, you know, like his life depends on basketball. You know what I'm saying? He was playing for his life, and he was killing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those are the moments I remember in sports history. Right now, I don't know too much going on. I can't play armchair quarterback or commentary on today's basketball players because I don't know who's out there. You understand? I can't really give you my perspective. I can give you the perspective of the old nostalgic regime of NBA, but I can't give you a current real time commentary on the game of basketball because, like I said, I'm 53. I got different interests in mind and what have you. Johnny Alcaraz. Hold on. Hold on. There's too much conversation. Okay, Johnny Alcaraz said. Now, Jordan, do you know why he passed away? As I say, we will, in a lot of the truth is out there. Yep. Johnny said, I believe he was murdered. Yep, he was murdered. Yeah, he was killed. You understand? And please, sir, please, man, let's not make it you know, if it's the Illuminati, he got his father sacrificed. You know how many times I heard that from people? Yeah, we ain't going there today. You understand? We are not going there today. Yeah. Flacco said, you're not that guy, pal. Okay, I'm not that guy. Let me delete. Boom. Russell gave the scripture John 3:16. Know what John 3:16 says? It says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth on him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You're talking to a person who has been a Christian for 32 years. I grew up in the church, and if I could tell you what I have, I have an associate's in biblical studies. I have a bachelor's in theology. I have a master's in arts, master's degree of arts in theology, and right now I'm working on my doctorate in Christian education. You know, and I'm a pastor myself and everything, so I know my scriptures. You know that that's the gospel according to John, and I'm gonna share you quickly through four presentations of the gospel. Matthew presents Jesus Christ as the Son of God, the King. No, Matthew presents Jesus Christ as the Messiah, the King of the Jews. Mark presents Jesus Christ as the suffering servant. Luke presents Jesus Christ as Son of Man, the humanity of Christ. And the Gospel according to John presents Jesus Christ as the Son of God, the deity of God, God the Son. You understand? So yes, those are the four presentations. Now I gave you that little bit of an insight, the four presentations of the gospel of Jesus Christ. You understand? Uh, there are four gospels. One of four gospel is not synoptic, but here are the synoptic gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke. And the word synoptic means saying together at the same time. So whenever you read these three gospels that are synoptic, it tells similar stories from different perspectives. The only book uh, that is so unique is the gospel according to Luke, because Luke wasn't there. You'll find Luke later, on a ministry evangelical journey with Paul in the book of Acts. You understand? Luke wasn't there. You understand? So that's the interesting plot. You know, and then I just want to share. Um, John Ackworth said, "Well, I don't want to be the guy that puts certain stuff on people, but said to be a sacrifice, Masons involved, etc. Jews, but ye people believe what they want." Yeah, Richie said, Jacoby Brisket is coming to take your job. This is when I delete. I don't. People be saying the stupidest stuff, man. Come on, we don't want that. I don't want that to be in my page. My boy was going off with the flu. Yeah, he was going off with the flu, right? Yeah, he was playing for dear life, like his life depended on that day. You understand? He didn't want to let the Bulls down, man. I remember them iconic moments in sports. You see how I can remember stuff like that? Come on. That's why I say it's no cap. I can remember stuff. Johnny said, I had no idea that his death has so many angles. I have to look into that. Yeah, yeah. I don't want this today's topic of Tuesday. It's the topic of how did Michael Jordan's father, how did he get killed? Was it a conspiracy theory? I'm not doing that. It's sad and unfortunate, he got killed. And I pray that his father knew Jesus. Pray that he made it to heaven, man. That's wrong. Murder is murder. Whoever people who murder is wrong. People are murdering because of of who they are, what they say. And I know we passed the whatchamacallit, the the Charlie Kirk situation. Even though he had his own opinion, he shouldn't get assassinated. Someone who took his life, that was wrong. I may disagree with what Charlie Kirk said, you know, but he shouldn't get assassinated. That was wrong. Killing is wrong. Period. No, regardless of what a person's political stance or theological stance, wrong is wrong. You understand? And everything. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go even more deep. You know what I'm saying? Johnny I said, yeah, watch out for LeBron's family once he retires. Yeah. Did you believe the end times are coming, my brother? Oh, of course. The Bible talks about that. Theologically, we're talking about eschatology, the study of the last days. Remember, in Matthew chapter number 24, Jesus Christ had a private conversation with disciples. They put Jesus Christ on the side and talk about when the end will be. And Jesus Christ said, um, you will know when you see wars and rumors of wars, um, nations against nations, kingdom against kingdoms. There'll be pestilences, incurable diseases. There'll be famine, and there will be earthquake in diverse places. Jesus Christ had told the disciples that, and he also said that no man should know the day or the hour when the Son of Man come. Uh, Not even the angels, and only my Father, only not the Son. Even the Son of Man doesn't know. So we're living in the end times right now. We just got to be ready when he comes. We don't know when Jesus Christ comes back. He's coming back for a glorious church without spot no wrinkle, and he's going to rapture up the church. First there will be a rapture, and then there'll be a 7 year tribulation period, right? And after the 7 year tribulation period, those who are left behind didn't get raptured. There will be 1,000 years of peace. The dragon, Satan, will be locked in the cage for a long time. But before the dragon be locked up, within the 7 year tribulation period, you're going to see the one world government, the system of the Antichrist. You're going to see the mark of the beast. You're going to see a one world government. If you don't have the mark, you know you can't buy or sell. Of course, those who are left behind and they receive Jesus Christ, they're gonna be beheaded. Right now we're living a dispensation of grace, so we're not under on the Mosaic law. We're not right now. We are under the dispensation of grace, and right now the whatchamacallit hasn't happened yet. Christ had come to wrap up the church. Right now, we just got to be ready. That's why I tell people get their lives to the Lord right now. 'Cause the gospel according to John chapter number 5 verse 39 says, "Search the scriptures, and then you might think that you have eternal life." You understand? And everything. So Marco, let me delete him. Let me screenshot Marco. I'm gonna have to look you up, and see who. And also I'm gonna delete. This is negative. Yeah, so that's it. I gotta go, y'all. I love y'all. This is good conversation. So far it was clean. Matt, Do you believe in Santa Claus? No, I don't ascribe to Santa, and I don't have a tree, and that's it. I love y'all. Shalom. I'm here.